Letitia James, who alleges Trump inflated his net worth by billions of dollars, with the largest discrepancy being more than $2.2 billion in 2014. The estimates came in newly unsealed court filings ahead of the October civil fraud trial against him, his adult sons, and the Trump Organization.
That's right. In a new court filing, New York's Attorney General Letitia James has alleged that Donald Trump inflated his net worth by as much as $2.2 billion. And the allegation comes as part of her civil suit against the former president, the Trump Organization, and his two sons, Don Jr. and Eric Trump. Now, Ivanka Trump was initially part of this civil suit, but they later dropped her from it entirely. And the trial is scheduled to begin on October 2nd. That is coming up. It's right around the corner. So let's get into some of the other details that we're learning from this filing. Now, Letitia James included the new figure in a court filing urging a judge to partially rule against Trump ahead of the scheduled October 2nd trial. The lawsuit purports that Trump's company falsely inflated and deflated the value of his assets to either pay lower taxes or improve his insurance coverage, right? So depending on the situation, you want to deflate your assets so you pay less in taxes, and then inflate your assets in order to get the insurance coverage, better insurance coverage. Now, James alleged that Trump inflated his net worth by hundreds of millions of dollars between 2011 and 2021. In 2014, James accused Trump of exaggerating his net worth by as much as $2.225 billion. And in that filing, she also wrote this: while this is just the tip of a much larger iceberg of deception, plaintiff is prepared to expose at trial, which would result in carving off billions more from Mr. Trump's net worth. It is more than sufficient to permit this court to rule as a matter of law that each statement of financial conditions from 2011 to 2021 was false or misleading. And just a little more detail on the filing itself, and then we'll go to you, Cenk. Let's watch.
The AG says Trump tripled the square footage of his Manhattan apartment, inflating its value by $100 million to $200 million between 2016 and 2012 and 2016. Prosecutors also alleged Trump's leased property at 40 Wall Street in New York City, the Times, was valued at more than twice the appraised value. And during his first year in office, prosecutors claimed Trump overstated his personal wealth by over $1.1 billion. Trump's lawyers say the Trump Organization's financial statements were not misleading and the case should be dismissed.
He tripled the square footage of his apartment. Like, I remember during COVID when we were all working from home, you can get a little tax deduction if you have a home office, right? And I remember being so serious about getting the square footage right. Took my tape measure out.
Oh, you're such a nerd.
Literally made sure that it was dedicated office space, exact square footage. But no,
so did
Trump's
Trump.
No, triple the size of my apartment. Get a nice little deduction. If this bears out in court, of course, innocent until proven guilty.
No, Trump did the same thing as you. He carefully measured it and then times it by 3. That's the thing about Trump. He reminds me of that old Saturday Night Live skit that John Lovitz used to do. The guy who would lie all the time and then go, yeah, that's the ticket. And he's like, my apartment is 3 times its size. Yeah, that's the ticket. And it's worth $200 million. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and so look, he's screwed either way. I'm gonna explain why he's screwed in either way in a second. But first, a hilarious part of the story. Trump's team puts out a statement about this going, oh yeah? You still admitted he's a billionaire. What does that have to do with this case?
No, but you know what? To be fair, we questioned whether he was ever a billionaire.
No,
right?
That's my point.
Yeah.
That statement proves us right.
Does it?
Yes, because I don't think he's a billionaire at all. And she's like, he overestimated by 2.25, which means he still has over $4 billion left. And I'm like, that is nowhere near true. Higher. He overestimated way more than that. And you could tell I'm right because out of nowhere, for no reason, his lawyer's like, oh yeah, you still admitted he's a billionaire.
Oh yeah.
But wait a minute. She didn't allege that he wasn't a billionaire. No one alleged other than us that he wasn't a billionaire. Why are you being defensive about that for no reason? And why are you bragging about it? Because he's not a billionaire. So they're like, you just said he's a billionaire. You just said it, got you. That wasn't the issue at all, you morons. By putting it in the press release, you're accidentally admitting it. Anyways, that's not at all important because the crime is what's important, or in this case, it's a civil case, right? Although you could argue it's definitely criminal because there's fraud here, but God forbid, in the old days, now they do charge him. But so now I want to give her credit for charging him because I remember watching the Michael Cohen testimony where he pointed out that Trump was doing this and he was Trump's lawyer, right? So he knew for a fact that Trump was doing this, and AOC did a great job of pointing that out during the testimony. And then Anna and I were like, there it is.
Yeah.
Overwhelming evidence. Why doesn't somebody do something about it? And Letitia James is doing something about it, so that's great. And he could lose $250 million.
That is what James is seeking as the financial penalty should Donald Trump be proven guilty. And it appears that she has the goods and is moving forward with this trial. So we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, I remember that Michael Cohen testimony, that moment. I think that was one of AOC's best moments in Congress, questioning, Trump's financial fraud issues, potential criminality. That was really smart of her to do. And that was where we learned about the existence of Allen Weisselberg, Allen Weisselberg. And Allen Weisselberg himself has dealt with some legal matters, legal issues as a result of all of this. So, this is the latest update. Again, this is the civil suit. This is aside from the 4 criminal indictments that Donald Trump is facing.
And a couple of other really important things here. So number one, Trump threw his kids under the bus because he already got deposed in this case back in April. And he was like, I'm barely running this show. I'm not running, I'm kind of, but not really running the organization because I was busy being president and saving the world, saved millions of lives. North Korea could have done a nuke, prevented it, so I wasn't doing it. So they're like, so who's running? He's like, Eric. Okay, so now Eric and Donald Trump Jr. are basically running the organization, and until the recent criminal issues of Allen Weisselberg, he was also running the organization, those 3. But now that Weisselberg's gone, this is gonna fall right on top of Don Jr. and Eric's head. And they're having to go in public. It reminded me of a scene out of Succession. They had to go and be like, yes, we are running it. If anyone is culpable, it is us. Yeah, that's what an awful dad does. He makes the kids take the blame. He's been doing this kind of fraud forever. So why is he screwed either way? So if he says, oh yeah, when I was trying to get X, Y, or Z benefits out of the inflated numbers I was giving, including better loans, etc., because I have more collateral, right? I put 6.5 billion, it's definitely 6.5 billion. Okay, then on your tax form, why does it say the other number, which is way, way lower? Which one is it? And then so if he says 6.5 billion, then he's lying on the tax form. And if he says the tax form number is right, then the 6.5 billion is wrong. So there's no way he can win. They put 2 gigantically different numbers in 2 different forms because he wants to pay less taxes but be able to borrow more.
Yeah.
And that's why he's totally screwed. And guys, unlike the criminal cases, he often settles these. I don't think he has that kind of money. But when New York prosecutors prosecuted him for Trump Charity, which is a totally fake charity that mainly bought pictures of Donald Trump. He didn't mainly buy it, but he did 2 different times giant portraits of Donald Trump. And he ripped off the United Negro College Fund, cancer, AIDS. I mean, he is just a terrible human being. Terrible, veterans, etc. So he had to pay $2 million back to those charities, and he paid $25 million for his fake university. So here, this is probably gonna cost him a very pretty penny, because you can't go into court because there's nothing to say. You definitely put 2 different numbers down. So he's gonna have to pay a massive settlement probably. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.